Welcome, welcome, welcome. Yes. Isn't it a great day to be in Genesee County? Yes. How about the line? Give it up for the line out there waiting for 2 hours. We're getting to you, I promise you. Thank you so much. Today marks a day in history where the lives of 718 people will be set free, dignity restored, family trees changed forever. We have so many people behind the scenes that have made this happen. So much planning for months and months and years. Many hands and feet to get to where we are. But it is an honor as the Sheriff of Genesee County to host it on the front lawn of a correctional facility and on the front lawn setting people free. That's what we're doing right now, today. You know, there's a lot of people that deserve recognition, but there's one that I'm going to say deserves special recognition, personal recognition. When I was appointed sheriff in 2019, I had a list of to-dos. And in February of 2020, I was graced with the opportunity to go meet my Attorney General. I made an appointment in Detroit, and I sat down at the conference table, and I met Dana Nessel. And I knew from a very, very close friend of ours, Dave Dwyer, what her heart was, what kind of person she was, and that to me means more than anything. You can't duplicate this by forcing it. Love's got to come from within.
That's right.
And I saw that in you. And then I was entrusted to work with the Solicitor General for the Flint water case, where Flint wasn't forgotten by our Attorney General. The promise to take care of Flint has always been on the front lines of her and her administration. We've seen it. And then in February of this year, on a Zoom call in the office, she dropped the hint. Sheriff, you know, we're looking for venues to host the first Expungement Fair. It wasn't even final. And I said, what is it going to take? And she had 3 things: a duct tape, cotton candy, and Justin Timberlake. I said, this is where you have it, right here, on this day, June 2nd, 2021. Give it up for Michigan's Attorney General, Dana Nessel.
Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you so much. It is such a privilege and an honor to be with you here today in Genesee County. Sheriff, I have to tell you, we talked about kicking off our first of our statewide expungement fairs here in Genesee, and you said you wanted to go first and that you would put the fair in Expungement Fair. You weren't kidding.
That's it.
So thank you so much to Sheriff Swanson for helping us put this entire thing together so that we can help as many people as possible. And for a bunch of us who are here today, you know, when we ran for office, we said that our commitment was this: to bring government to a place where we were actually working for the people of this state once again. And that's what we've tried to do here. And whether you're here to get your record cleared, whether you're here to get a vaccination, and I hope you'll avail yourself of that opportunity if you haven't already, or whether you're here to register to vote, we want to bring the people back in government, right? We want to have a government that actually works for you, and that's what we're trying to do here today. And I'm so thrilled to have everybody in attendance, but right now I'd like to introduce to you our incredible Governor, Gretchen Whitmer.
Good morning. I am thrilled to be here. I am thrilled to be here with Dana Nessel, Jocelyn Benson, the Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, and Sheriff Swanson, Dave Layton. We've got an incredible group that has come together to make today happen. And today is a good day. We are here to discuss. Thank you. We are here to discuss and address the inequities in our criminal justice system and expand opportunity for every single Michigander. There are incredible things that are happening here today. Our Secretary of State is making sure everyone gets an opportunity to get registered to vote. And thanks to her leadership, we had a historic election last year that was fair and just. Thanks to our Attorney General, we are here to make sure that we create some expungement opportunities for people so you can have a second chance at a good life right here in Michigan. And I got to acknowledge the hard work of our Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist. Last October, I signed the bipartisan Clean Slate Criminal Justice Reform Bills. Now, these bills are a game changer for people who are seeking opportunities, whether it's in employment or it is in housing. They will help ensure that a clean slate for hundreds of thousands of Michiganders, so you can get into a good paying job, take care of your family, and get ahead in this great state that we all call home. A lot of the provisions went into effect in April, and thanks to all the progress we've made around COVID, we are together now for this event. So, please, as the Attorney General said, if you've not yet gotten vaccinated, please take the opportunity today to do that for yourself and for your family and for your community. Criminal justice reform has been a priority of my administration from day one. In addition to expungement, we've made progress on the task force on jail and pretrial incarceration that was chaired by the Lieutenant Governor and our Supreme Court Chief Justice Bridget McCormick. I signed bipartisan bills reforming civil asset forfeiture, and I signed Raise the Age legislation. That is a bill package to increase the age of who's legally considered a juvenile or an adult in the criminal justice system from 17 to 18. Now, there's a lot more work to be done, and we will not take our foot off the gas. But today is a testament to when we work together, we can make Michigan a place where there's opportunity for everyone. So today's about second chances. Today is about unity and coming together. Thank you as I walk that line and talk to folks. Thank you for your inspiration. Thank you for your enthusiasm. And thank you for doing what you do. We're going to make this a huge success, and then the sheriff of Wayne County is going to have to replicate it. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
And next, let's hear from our incredible Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist.
All right. How y'all doing, Flint? I want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to acknowledge the fearless governor of the great state of Michigan, Gretchen Whitmer. I want to thank, we got so many fearless women leading Michigan, don't we? We have our Attorney General, Dana Nessel. We have Secretary of State, Jocelyn Benson. I want to thank all the leaders here elected. I want to thank, first of all, the Genesee County Sheriff, Sheriff Swanson. I want to thank Representative Dan Kildee for being here and representing, always fighting for us in Washington. I want to also acknowledge someone who's been a leader in this effort to make sure people have full access to second chances. And that is Third Circuit Court Judge Deborah Thomas. She's come to Flint annually for almost a generation to make sure the criminal record expungement was available to the people of this community and communities all across Michigan. We would not be here but not building upon her foundation. I want to thank her for her continued service and leadership. When I took office as Lieutenant Governor, I made it clear that I was going to fight to deliver fundamental reforms to every system that didn't make our community safer and every system that did not improve outcomes for people who've been in contact with the criminal legal system. It's our administration's belief that, first of all, we got to reduce people's contact with the system in the first place. But then after that, we need to make sure that when you do come into contact, that you're treated with dignity, humanity, and respect. That our victims and survivors are supported and invested in. And then finally, when you are through with this system, that you are positioned to be successful. Our presence here today, alongside the presence of every statewide constitutional officer in Michigan, is a demonstration of our collective commitment to these values and making these fundamental reforms accessible to members of every community in our state. The changes are not theoretical. Their impact is real, just as real as the negative impact of the flawed system that we are here to fix. The process of clearing criminal records has been too narrow, too difficult, or too expensive for too long. So much so that the overwhelming majority of Michiganders who've been eligible for it have not yet experienced it. But when Governor Whitmer signed the bipartisan clean slate law into effect this past October, we both said that we were going to make this real for Michiganders. You know, people find it hard to believe that change is coming if you can't see it or you can't feel it. I see it and I feel it today. The 1,000 people, almost 1,000 people will be served, will see it and feel it today here in Genesee County. These laws will have an immediate and immense positive effect on life across the state of Michigan. People who faced a confusing and costly process for too long to apply for an expungement or set aside, that ends now. We've increased the number of offenses that qualify for an expungement, increased the number of set-asides that a person can receive, and reduced the waiting periods before people are eligible to even make that request. That means that more soon you will have a bigger and better and brighter chance at full civic life, a fair chance, a second chance to get a new job, a second chance at safe, affordable housing, a second chance to get an education, a second chance to get a loan, a second chance to start a business, a fair chance to access the expanded opportunities and bright future, and I'm so honored to be here with you to recognize it. The final element of making this real, because we're not done with the reform, is that we have to go further. We need to actually continue to fund and automate this process so we don't even need to have fairs like this. In our state budget recommendation, we put forward $21 million to make that automation real. So when you're eligible, the offenses just fall away. You don't need to come to something like this. You don't need a lawyer. You don't need to make a phone call. It just happens for you. We've also continued to work on reforming our jail system, as the governor referred to. We reviewed system through our jail task force last year. We made recommendations and we signed in the legislation the governor did in January. Laws that reform sentencing guidelines, laws that reduce arrests, laws that will shorten the time that people will ever spend in contact with the justice system in the first place. I look forward to continue the partnership of everyone here represented to make sure this can be real. We know that generations of disparities have stood between people and progress in Michigan. This generation, our generation, is going to be the generation that ends that reality in Michigan. We will continue to stand tall for Michiganders who are standing up for their rights and need someone in their corner. Everyone here represented is in that corner, working with and fighting for you. So with that, I thank you for allowing me to be here and to serve alongside you. And I want to hand it back to Sheriff Swanson to get some more great
I think it's important to recognize probably the most popular person on the stage, and that is Bethany. Who is always there to serve people. Just like the volunteers that you see in colored shirts out there, you see maroon, you see line, you see all sorts. To our volunteers, thank you for making this happen. I appreciate it so much. And I get the privilege now to introduce our Secretary of State, a Harvard grad, somebody who loves family so much, one of the founding members of Military Spouses of Michigan, and one character that I really love and endear, and that is the fact she's a marathoner. You know, 1% of the world's population can run 26.2 miles. She's done it multiple times just in the Boston Marathon, which is a qualifier. As a 4-time Ironman finisher, I have great respect for that. So if you think you can outrun her, good luck. Welcome, Secretary of State Benson.
Wow, let's give it up to our sheriff, Sheriff Swanson. What an incredible leader you are, both in Flint and around the state. And I really also want to thank a great leader here in Flint. Mayor Neely, Representative Neely, the two of you have done so much for the city, for this region. Thank you for being here today, for being a part of this great event. And you know, as I look out at everyone here today, I just want to thank you all for being here. Every single one of you who's going to be coming throughout today, the nearly 1,000 individuals who are coming for a clean slate, thanks to the leadership of our sheriff and our great attorney general. Thank you for being here. Know that we are here to serve you. We work for you. That's why we're here today. And I'm here also saying I don't want anyone in that line who's not registered to vote and is an eligible citizen, don't leave without getting registered to vote, because your voice matters. Your vote matters. And here in Flint and all across the state, we're going to work every day to make sure your voices are heard. But democracy is a team sport. We need you working with us. We need your voices at the table too. And so when you register to vote, and by the way, make sure everyone knows and you spread the word, just because you have a criminal conviction or anything in your past with regards to the law doesn't affect your voting rights at all. You can still vote. You still have access to that fundamental right, your right to vote. And you may think it doesn't matter or my one vote doesn't count, but not only do we have elections decided by just a few votes every year, what we see right now in this state and in this country is an effort to make it harder for people to access their vote, harder for their voices to be heard, so that they can make decisions that aren't necessarily in service to you. We want to serve you, but we can only do that, and we will do that, when you're able to participate too. So we're going to fight to make sure that your voices are heard. And when you register to vote and get engaged as a citizen in this state, we can work harder and fight harder alongside you to make sure that every single person has a chance to succeed, has access to quality health care, has a safe community to grow up in and live in, free of violence and with full access to education and jobs. And that's what we're fighting every day for, and that's what today's a celebration of. So we're here today to celebrate you, but it's a new day for democracy in Michigan, and it's a day in which we all can work together to ensure every voice is heard, everyone has a seat at the table. And I know you here in Flint know just how important it is that your voices are heard, not just here in this community, but all the way in Lansing and in Washington, D.C. And that's why we've also got your great Congressman Dan Kildee here as well, who's representing you every day in Washington. So get registered to vote, get vaccinated, that's here too. Our great Attorney General has worked extensively to provide all of these services, and now I want to bring her up again. But join me in recognizing her extraordinary leadership at bringing government to the people, which is part of what we all work to do every day. But here today, we see it firsthand, and all of you individually, your lives will be changed as a result of her leadership, and we're all proud to stand with her. Attorney General Dana Nessel.
Okay, admittedly, I cannot run 26 miles, but I did once watch Netflix for 26 hours straight. I'm still waiting to see what that qualifies me for. All right, now at this time, let's bring up our Congressman from the 5th Congressional District representing us here in Genesee County, Dan Kildee.
Thank you, Dana, and thank you all for what you're doing to make today real. This is my hometown. I love Flint. There's one of the characteristics of the people of Flint is that we have a long history of seeking justice. Justice for people who've been overlooked, justice for people who in one case were poisoned under a previous administration by their own government. Justice comes in lots of forms. And when we have an attorney general who's willing to seek justice in every form, a governor who's willing to seek justice for all of us, a secretary of state who has made it not just her life's work, but her obsession to make sure justice comes in the form of everyone having their voice heard in our democracy. A lieutenant governor who's lived that. And local officials like the Sheriff Swanson, and Prosecutor Layton, who put the word justice back into the criminal justice system. This is an important day for us, and it's right that it's happening here in Flint. We're trying to do what we can at the federal level. We passed the First Step Act, which is only the first step in reforming the federal justice system. But when I see efforts like what we have today, and the work particularly of the sheriff with the Ignite program to help educate people in the jail so that they're more prepared to re-enter society when they leave the jail. And then this day is really important because justice comes in many forms. It comes in the form of holding people accountable for sure for the mistakes they may have made in their lives. But it also comes in the form, justice comes in the form of ultimately making it right. And one of the ways we make it right is to give people the chance to move on. That's right. Look, the folks who are lined up here today are here because they've acknowledged a mistake in their past and are ready to fully contribute everything they have, everything they can to the goodness of our society. That's why they are lined up. But let's be clear about one thing. While this is important to the people who will benefit from this expungement fair and have their records cleared, it's important to all of us. We measure the goodness of society by how we interact with one another, live with one another, and benefit from one another. We are a better people, every one of us, because what is happening today. We are better for it, our society is better for it, and we owe a huge debt of gratitude to those who made today possible. Let me now bring up, I believe, our prosecutor, David Layton, a person that I have just become familiar with. We met 44 years ago. He's doing a great job and represents all of the values that today is based upon. Prosecutor David Layton.
Good morning, everybody. I've long believed that Michigan's expungement laws were too restrictive and needed expansion. And I believe that because so many people who come through the criminal justice system and end up with convictions are not criminals. They're just human beings who made a mistake in life. And so over the past number of years that I've been in office, privileged to be in office, we've worked with our legislative representatives to get the law changed to allow more folks to be eligible for expungement. Early on in this process, I spoke with the chair of the House Judiciary Committee, and I want to congratulate the Attorney General and the Governor for getting this done, because this has been in the works for a long time, and it wasn't easy to get this legislation through and onto the Governor's desk. Also, a shout out to my colleagues across the state, Prosecuting Attorneys Association of Michigan, who worked with the stakeholders on this bill to support its passage. Finally, I brought my pen along this morning because I'm ready to sign those 60-day waivers so eligible applicants can have their convictions expunged and get a clean slate. And having said that, it's my honor and privilege to introduce our next speaker, my dear friend, the mayor of the great city of Flint, Sheldon Neely.
Good morning. Good morning. We must acknowledge God in all of this. All of this great work, all these efforts, these resources coming together, it is through the graces of God that we're here today. My motto when I got elected, I talked about prayer, planning, and partnership. Prayer, planning, and partnership. We prayed for this day. All of you prayed for this day. We planned for this day. And we partnered for this day. I want to thank my friend Dana Nessel, Sheriff Swanson, the Governor, State Representative Cynthia Neely. It was all about partnership in order to get this done for you today. A second chance. A second chance. You should never be defined by one mistake for the rest of your life. We all say a pledge of allegiance to our flag. It ends like this: one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all in this country. So we have to stand together today and be grateful for the partnership, for the planning, and the prayer that went into this. So congratulations to all of you for your new second chance at this. And let's do this thing together in prayer. God bless.
All right, we're almost done. We're about to bring up the closer. Dana Nessel, just like in the ninth inning where you're down by one, it's a full count, you want the best closer. But before that, I want to recognize Jonelle, Percy, and Alvon, the county ambassadors that represent returning citizens around the state of Michigan. This is a day long coming. And the word that I walk away with today is validation. Validation is restoring worth individuals, to restore courage. Our Ignite program in the jail, countless testimonies of people sitting, trying to get their 6th, 7th, 8th grade education in a protected environment. You see tears running down their faces in FEMA housing. A 35-year-old female inmate who's learning to read. And she said to the Congressman, I never thought it would happen. I'm a single mom. I have courage to go out and get a job now. And for all those that have been waiting for the last 2 hours on wave 1 of expungement that's now wrapped around the building, Genesee County is not the only county. We're not the only place you'll be set free. There's 82 counties in the state of Michigan, and this team is coming to set people free. And the closer is going to be the one to do that. So as we do this, I want a heartfelt, hand-slapping, shake your partner on the shoulder greeting for Attorney General. She loves the attention, and my dance party colleague, Attorney General Deborah.
All right, who's tired of listening to politicians speak and just wants to start doing expungements already? Yeah, that's right. I just want to, before I finish off, I got a few more people to thank. I want to thank my amazing Solicitor General, Fadwa Hamoud, for putting all this together. And for my communications team, Amber McCann, where are you? Thank you for all your hard work. I want to thank everybody from my department that has worked so hard to help put this together in concert with the Genesee County Sheriff's Department. Thank you guys. All you deputies out there, thank you from the Genesee County Health Department and everybody who's helping in terms of the vaccinations. And of course, the Secretary of State, we're going to get more people registered to vote today than ever. And I just want to thank everybody so much for coming out. And again, this is one of many, many fairs of its kind we'll be doing all around the state of Michigan. So now, let's start